Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first prologue from the Allandia Campaign on Tabletop Dorks. I am your Dungeon Master, go by Voices, and we're just going to introduce the cast and start going because we have blown past quite a bit of our recording time. So, first off, let's go with Maven. Introduce yourself and your character, and I don't know, say a fun fact about its terrible backstory or something wild.
I was not prepared for that. Okay. Hi, I'm Maven, and my character's name is Drat. Fun fact about my character is he was outcast from his family.
Valid. Tippy, what's going on?
I'm Tippy. My character's name is Thorin, and his fun fact is his best friend used to be a squirrel called Well-Stored Squirrel.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember that. And last
a lot like your Fallout character. Hey, I'm Chemistry Sloth. My character is Rin Algon. Rin has a twin sibling who is no longer with us.
Where'd they go?
We'll
Somewheres. That's all. Dun dun. All right.
The nine helps.
Let's just hop right into this. So, little bit of little bit of understanding for the audience. So we are doing two sets of prequel or prequel? Yeah, two sets of prequels for two groups for the Allandia campaign. This is by land. This is the campaign. They're the by land group, and the other one will be by sea. I don't really know how we're gonna have these set up. Hopefully, this is the first one because I'm introducing it as the first one. So yeah, this is the first one. We're going to get right into it. The campaign is going to center around Malmali, which is the capital of a state/country known as Sherstow. It's the Sherstow Kingdom. The king is, King Edward Sherstow. This merry band of misfits is on their way for the king's 40th anniversary of like an inauguration type of thing. So like 40 years ago he was there. So I guess would that be called an inauguration? Because he's a king? Yeah.
I don't think you can inaugurate a king, can you?
Can you not like
I don't know.
I guess his crowning? 40th year of his crowning? 40th year reign. Anniversary? Okay. We'll go with anniversary. It's 40th anniversary of being the dude that's like the head of all the other dudes. You guys are flowing right into Tazingster, which is it's a lot smaller of a city than Malmali. We're a nation.
Coronation.
Oh, Coronation. Yeah.
I had to Google it because it's bothering me.
Well, yeah. So 40th anniversary of his coronation. That's what it is. That's
there you go.
Tazingster is kind of a little bit of a seedy type of hunting village. It's not like a big like input export type of thing. It's essentially people will kill anything coming into it, sell whatever they can get, and then hopefully get out without someone stealing whatever they had. Pretty run down, not cobblestone streets, but like dirt streets. Walking through here, your shoes are thoroughly mudded, like soaked through, socks drenched. It's not a fantastic looking city. So it's completely engulfed with woods, and there's actually sections that are like up on stilts because of how marshy it is. The big thing about Allandia is working with nature and not against it. So like they're not going to fill in the land. They're just going to build over top of it so that it can be what it is. And you're going to kind of see that there's quite a few cities that are kind of either built like on a rock face or built on a mountainside that definitely don't look like any code would work, but magically it somehow does. Magically. Let's see here. A couple of sections in Tazingster. You have the Moonfire Brook, which is the one, they're the ones that are all set up on stilts. The other one, there's a center section, which is the Tazingster Castle. That's ran by really seedy dude named, what was his name? Oh, Darius Greythorn. He's a pretty chill guy, but he's kind of seedy. Like big, plump, like always a red face, looks like a giant pimple that's ready to pop, but he never does. And then the other part of the city is called Stormbark Mire. And Stormbark Mire is on the east side of it, more towards Malmely. They're actually built on land and like solid ground, so they don't have issues with houses sinking or sliding into anything. You guys are gonna start off in a quaint little place called the Copper Griffin. Copper Griffin is a pretty rugged tavern. There's like 2 different barkeeps. They're always running at like full speed. There's never stopping. One is a halfling that's looks like he fell down a tree when he was 5 and never got any of the scars helped. So like he's like scabbed over in every way, shape, or form. The other one is a half orc and it just towers over the other guy. They're best friends though. The room, say about like a 500 or 600 square foot tavern, not super big, maybe about like 10-ish tables, only 1 story, not 2 stories or anything. The people inside definitely worse for wear. A couple of guys are like completely blacked out drunk. You guys have gotten to the bar, and the reason why you came into the Copper Griffin is because there was a sign up that had said that there was somebody that had a shipment that they were moving through Tazingster, and because of how wild the city is and because of how wild it is between Tazingster and Malmely, they kind of wanted some help. So you guys are kind of thinking, oh, on your own terms, like maybe you should do this. None of you guys know each other, but you guys all kind of sat down at the bar with the same help wanted posters. So you guys can kind of start off from there. Is there anything that you guys would like to do right off the cusp? Introduce your characters, what they look like.
Yeah, so I'm very short, so I'm probably like barely making it to this,
Okay.
like the counter.
So there's probably a couple of step stools up, since it's also a halfling that is one of the barkeeps. Like the bar is at a regular height, so there might be a couple of step stools. So you're probably like just at it. You're a gnome, so like you're probably like here because the halfling's a little bit taller than you.
Yeah, and I'm a forest gnome, and they're a little bit shorter than normal gnomes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, since you introduced them, it's like, do you want to describe your character a little bit? What they look like?
Yeah. So he dresses very elegantly. He doesn't want to stand out. It's like very like natural colors, but it's enough to kind of, if you looked at me and be like, oh, like he stands out a little bit. He's got like blonde-ish, like a dirty blonde, long hair and a big beard. His eyes, like when he carries, like you see like a lump in his sack. You can't quite sure what it is, but every now and then if he runs his hand by it, his eyes glow a little bit of like a bluish color. So like if he looks at someone, he might like do that just to kind of like wink at him. And his eyes look a little bit of glow.
Okay.
And he's got like a little headband and stuff.
All right. And so you're just gonna chill at the bar for a little
And
bit?
he's just vibing.
Okay. It's just vibing.
He doesn't have
Anybody else
anything in
want-
front of him though.
Doesn't
Like
have
there's no
anything-
drink, no food, no nothing.
Okay.
Like he's just kind of sitting there.
Who wants to hop in here next?
I guess I can go next. Sorry, hit the mic. My character's name is Drat. Well, we already discussed that, didn't we? You just wanted
you just
to say
said
what we
Drat.
look like.
That's all you said.
Okay. So I'm dressed in a nice suit with a darker suit jacket, a red tie, and white pants. And that is all clearly overlooked because there's an eagle sitting on my shoulder. Or a hawk, not an eagle.
Oh, then I would change what I'd do if I saw a hawk, but we'll let Ian go first.
Okay.
And in front of me, all I have is a simple ale and a steak.
All right. And so now on to Sloth there.
Yep. So Rin, kind of the same thing as Jonathan. Probably I would imagine, comes up next to him because Ren is also a gnome. So you'll just have these two heads just like resting up on the bar stool. Just the two of us.
I feel like I got two short guys just sitting side
yeah.
by side with me.
Yep. So Rin is like all red. And just, I don't know, just like big plump nose. As for clothing, like a little bit tattered, like they probably look like some hand-me-downs. So just nothing too extravagant, doesn't stand out a whole lot.
Okay.
So
Do you
I
have
would
anything in front of you?
No, kind of just tapping my hands on the.
Okay. All right. So Tippy, what were you gonna? What was?
I would absolutely be trying to make friends with this hawk.
Okay. Trying to make
I'm
sense
just
of this
like
talk.
talking to it.
Okay. The half-orc gentleman kind of like comes over to you guys, stands up in front and is like, "So you guys want anything else? Anything else for tonight?"
What's your
Really
best
quick, on just a quick side note. Does my hawk talk back to him? Because it's not a natural creature.
Yeah, I don't. How are you trying to talk to the hawk?
Yeah.
That's my question, I guess. Are you like?
I can speak to small or smaller beasts. So if it's a beast, I would hear it. If it's not a beast, I wouldn't.
Okay, then yeah, it's not going to be responsive to you.
Okay, so I'm going to be very confused because I'm like, does it look like a normal hawk?
Yeah, for the
Yeah,
most part, it should.
I'm looking at him and looking at the hawk when I'm trying to like commune with it.
Okay. All right. So again, do you guys have anything that you'd like? Anything extra? We're getting a little busy, and there's plenty of people coming in for the 40th, you know.
What's your best soup?
Let me go check. I haven't known what we got today. It kind of depends on whoever brings in what. So, and then you see him like kind of scrounge around a little bit to like grab what looks to be like a little bit of parchment and like a quill, which is kind of like strange. So he goes back there, he comes back, he's like, all right, we got, you can kind of choose from these when it comes to soup, but we got beaver, we got goat tail, we got oxen, we got, I don't know how to read that, we got, squirrel, we got, I mean, what animal are you looking for? Are you looking for something specific?
No animal, preferably.
What?
Preferably no animal, just like a vegetable soup, perhaps.
Just a veg. You just want
vegetable?
veg.
Yes,
You're in a hunting town and you want a vegetable soup.
correct.
All right.
I look over at him and say, brave choice.
I'll check. He's gonna hop off again to go see if there's anything else.
Hello, my name is Thorin. What is that creature on your shoulder? I can't speak to it.
It's a hawk.
It is not a hawk. I can speak to hawks, and it does not answer me.
It's a magical hawk?
Very strange. First hawk.
Halfward comes back. We got carrots. Sorry, we had to steal them from the horses, but we got carrots.
Sure, I'll take carrots.
All right. Who wants a carrot with like in soup? And then you hear the guy in the back's like, "Does he want a squirrel with it or something?" He's like, "No, just a carrot. Just a carrot, I guess." And so he kind of like stumbles off. There's like about 3 or 4 others that are at the bar a little bit farther down from you guys, and then pretty much all the tables are packed. The guys are getting completely sloshed with all types of different needs. So there's not course of action. Everything's getting a little rowdy.
Complete side note, but I like how Ian's a short character and he's like short on his camera.
He's just gonna progressively get short. He keeps like clicking his chair as the campaign goes on. The season finale, it's just like right here. That's all you see. So a couple minutes go by, and back comes the half orc. He sets it down. It definitely looks like there might still be something that was left. You can kind of deduce that they probably had to pull something out of a stew and then just throw the carrot in. So he's like, "This is the best we got." He's like, "It's free because technically, I mean, I guess we still kept the meat, so like, it doesn't. I don't know."
I'll make do. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
I'm like clearly picking out things and just going for the carrots.
Okay. And then as he walks away, he goes, "Oh, I should have just gave him a carrot," and then just walks away. The little halfling comes over, and like he's like here. So like if you guys, your head's here, like this is where he's sitting on the other side. He's like, "So what brings you guys into Tazingster? You guys just crossing through? You bringing in some hunting things? What's going on?"
I heard there was work.
Oh, yeah. You got there's a little sheet you guys found out there, bright parchment. Yeah, it's that's Orlin. He's gonna be a couple of tables over there. He's the loner, like all by himself. It's surprising, but he kind of freaks other people out. So that's where you're going. However, if you're walking with your drinks, be careful because nobody is kind in here, and they will take it or they'll spill it. So if you want to leave it here, I'll bring it over to you because more than likely it'll get spilled and then I have to clean it up. But
did you bring my soup?
Your soup?
The word soup is generous, but yes, my soup.
Sure, I can bring your soup over there. No problem whatsoever. So he kind of just grabs your soup and like is waiting for you guys to kind of move. So whenever you guys want
I'm going to head over there.
You're going to head over?
Yeah.
All of you guys doing it? All right, cool. Yeah. So the guy that you see looks so out of place. It's like stark. Like dude is in like high noble attire, like purples, scions. He's got like shades of gold that are tailored into certain things, and like the bottom half of him is just filthy. Looks like he probably slipped and fell a couple of times, and he's like clutching his purse with him, like he knows he's in a bad spot, but he looks very desperate.
What'd you say his name is?
Orlin.
Orlin.
Yep. And that was on the paper too, but yeah. So you guys kind of sit down, and Orlin's like, who are you? What are you doing?
They said you were hiring?
Oh, did you get? Do you have the parchment?
We saw the parchment. I don't have the parchment.
You saw the parchment. Okay, as long as you saw the parchment. Yes. I have some things that I want to get across to Malmoli. I'm gonna need help because this city is disgusting in
I agree.
every way, shape, and form. I have been accosted by 4 individuals. I was spit on, and I believe someone defecated on my shoes, and I believe I slipped in it. So, are you guys also going to Malmoli?
That explains the smell, but yes.
All right, very well. All right.
Well, I don't know about them.
Oh, okay. Are you two as well going to Malmoli?
I have no specific destination in mind.
Oh, look at you. Okay. All right. Well, so here's the thing. When we get there, as long as nothing is taken and nothing is pillaged from this, there's a stop on the way to Malmoli. It's about halfway through. It's its own tavern all by itself. It's called the Veiled Eye. That's where we will stop to bed down. It's going to be a 4 days journey, unfortunately. It's going to be, give or take, like 70-ish miles. But I promise you will be compensated handsomely with some wares, and then I can also set you up with a place when you get into Malmley, because I do have my connections, as you have seen.
So part of what we must protect is you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Preferably, please.
Preferably, but not required, or?
I mean, you will not get compensation.
Oh, that
So
does.
that's the benefit from it.
Understand.
Other than that, I don't see any other reason. I don't believe right now would be an ideal time. The sun's about set, so I'd rather us kind of stay in, please. I don't want to leave unless it's in the morning and I can see what's going on.
Understand.
I've
I
got
can
a
see what's
cart.
going on at night if that sweetens the pot for you.
What was that?
I said I can see what's going on in the dark if that sweetens the pot for you.
I can't. And that's what kind of worries me. So,
Understandable.
preferably. But yes, it should be a straight shot. We do have to go over one little river, but other than that, we should be completely fine. Do you guys have accommodations for the night?
No. I usually
Very
sleep
well.
outside.
Just out in the elements?
Yeah, it's just, in trees, in a branch. Wherever I find. Make a pile of leaves. Sometimes a fox might let me use it as a pillow. Just depends.
And you two?
I would prefer a bed.
Very well.
As would I.
Yes, if you provide a bed, I'll take a bed, but if not... I have
Okay,
options.
well, I can provide beds. That is of no issue. I have a home that I keep here, but it is very, 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 very temporary. Single bedroom. It's all I could afford. Well, all I wanted to afford in this area. Not a lot of return on investment, unfortunately. People not vacationing to Tussingster. But yes, besides that, so what brings you to Tussingster? Are you guys traveling or
I can't legally say.
passing through? What?
Said I can't
I'm-
legally say.
I'm trying to see what my past. Never mind. That's not what I was trying to say.
Okay, very well. And you, little gnome one, you're a red one. You're a red little gnome. What of you?
Well, it's not something I want to get into with someone I've just met. I will say I'm looking for someone, yes, but that's all I'm comfortable with sharing.
Very well. Okay. So,
I sent you a Discord message of what I'm doing here, by the way. Yes.
did okay.
I lean over at this point to I forgot your character's name, to Thorin, and I say, "You're a strange one, little one."
Thank you. So is your hawk friend.
I look over at the hawk, and it does a little squawk.
See, I can't understand that, and it's driving me crazy.
Huh. You are a very strange bunch. All right. I also think it's very unsettling that you're like 4 feet taller than the other two. It's just me, but just a little bit of.
If we stack on
Something.
top of one another, we're almost his height.
Okay. That's a very strange thing to think of. Okay.
What,
So-
you've never heard of kobolds in a trench coat before?
No, I do not believe that I have.
Basically, there's rumors of 3 kobolds stacking up on top of each other within one trench coat to look like one large human being.
Huh. That is very strange.
Tis.
Okay. So you, little one, you were the one that said you can't legally say.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you one question, and one question only. Are you part of the Bloodied Circle? Because I don't want to deal with that.
I have no idea what that is.
Very well. Fantastic.
Would I
Alright.
know what that is?
Are you part of an underground fighting ring that is involved within, like, all of Sherstow?
Nope.
Oh, then no, you're not. So that's good. Good. I know many around here are, and I don't want anything to do with them. So that is that. There've been a couple that came before you, and I could just, well, I could smell the blood, if that's an easy way to put it. Besides that, well, I'm going to drink a little bit, enough to where I can keep my wits, and I will see you. Well, actually, I will escort you guys over to my home, or, well, for my room for the time being. So he kind of like just grabs right off of the table like a full thing of mead and just downs it as quickly as he can, still holding the purse. Like, one hand is always going to be on that thing no matter what. Gets up, kind of ushers you guys over, and you guys kind of walk out. This city, because of how busy it is with the what did we call it? What's the thing called? The anniversary of the, yeah, because of the anniversary of the coronation, this city is like 4 times the amount of people that it should be, and a lot of bad guys go to this area. So like when you guys walk out, it's like you're dodging at least 2 people that are like fighting with each other as you come out. The streets are just types of tankards and cups. There's ripped clothing, pieces of wood splintered from doors of homes that definitely have some type of ruckus going on. But you're not 100% sure. What was that?
Is there any like loose coins?
Make a perception check. Just a quick little perception check. What are you rolling on? Are you rolling on a roll 20 or just?
I physically rolled, so it's 18 plus 3, so 21.
All right, you find yeah, actually, as you guys are walking out, there's kind of like not a posh looking dude, but like someone that's kind of built up, like a built up guy that just does one clean clock to this traveling. It looks like an artisan. Like he looks like he hasn't even picked up anything other than like a spool of yarn in the last like years. So just clocks him full out, and it's like a sprawl of everything in his coin purse all over the ground. There's quite a few that are going for it, but you do manage to grab like 10
Very
gold
small.
right off, like real quick. Just a quick little 10 gold as the altercation is occurring. You guys probably walk with him for about 15-20 minutes. He's still just super shifty, like looking all over the place, freaked out and stuff. It's a tiny little shack, like a extremely tiny little shack. He opens up the door after getting out a pair of keys, clicks around a little bit, opens it up, and the there we go. The cart that he has is inside of the hut. Like, it is the cart, and then like about 2 foot of walking distance all the way around the cart, with like a bedroll in the back corner, and then like 2 other bedrolls or something close enough to be a bedroll that you guys could probably chill out in.
Why is the cart inside, may I ask?
Well, the horses stayed outside, and the cart stayed in here because the cart has very, very, very expensive things within it. And I have taken it from a very long distance, and I don't really want to deal with it because they've literally come all the way from Malaham. So, yes,
you asked us what brings us here. What brings you here, and what are the wares that we're to transport?
I
should
sell
have
silks.
asked sooner.
Yes, but I understand. I sell silks, and very fine silks at that. And
May I have a suggestion?
yes,
It's too late now for us, but if you're in a shady place like this, I recommend not saying how valuable things are and bringing strangers to your home. It's not a very wise decision. Luckily, I'm an honest person, but if I wasn't... You see 3 of us in one of you. That'd be very problematic. I'm honest.
Fair enough.
Little one has a point.
Some advice.
I am very desperate, so honestly, it was either that I get across with the Wiz or I die here. So that was my 2 options.
Understand.
So I figured I would roll my dice. But beside those facts, I sell silks as well as these, and he pulls out this really stupidly gaudy rug. Like, this thing has more colors than like a kid throwing up a box of crayons. It's so disgustingly over the top. And he's like, I already have a buyer for this one, and like kind of like dabs it a little bit, and it just puffs with a little bit of like mud and dust, and then he kind of brushes it off, and then he puts the canvas back over top of it. But yes, these are where you can sit and sleep. I apologize. I wish that it was better, but this was all that I wanted to afford. Again, sorry, but I make 3 trips every year, and this one timed perfectly with this stupid coronation thing, and I need the money, so I don't have a lot of money with me right now, but I have money when I get this to Maumali. Then I have money. So that is the order of events that have to occur.
Makes sense.
Yes. You guys can do whatever you like within the city. Please refrain from killing. I would like it not to be that we were traveling with bounties, but if need be, I understand. I am going to lay down and hope tomorrow is faster than today was. And he kind of just like crawls into his cart and pulls the cover over top of him, and he is just going to sleep in the cart.
I'm not tired yet.
What would you guys like to do? Explore a little bit? What are you guys feeling? What are you guys thinking?
I want to explore.
I think Rin is honestly, I think just gonna turn in for the night. Like,
Just gonna turn in?
yeah, like has no interest in the surrounding area. Just kind of wants to get this over with.
I'm doing what I messaged you. I'm gonna go look for that.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so
I'm going to follow the intriguing little one.
the intriguing little one. Okay. So as you kind of leave out, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. So you're, what are you looking for? Like, you can just kind of like, you can pretty much say it out right now.
Yeah, since we're in town, I'm looking for the second half of what I told you.
Okay. So, I would say, give me a investigation check, I guess, is what I would do.
9.
9. So
Yeah,
you kind of like move around the city a little bit in the time that the sun is completely going down, kind of trying to listen for maybe a couple of bands of hunters or a couple of bands of scavengers. Maybe even like you start to see that there are guys walking around with like very large bear traps, and you follow them for a little bit. They all lead to like alleys and just peeing themselves, or alleys and brawl fights. Most of them end up in the Copper Griffin. That's like a majority of them are ending up there. You're not seeing anything specifically. Drat, are you following with him, or are you just kind of going on your own pace, or were you gonna chill and conk out for the night?
I'm just following him.
So,
you're gonna follow him?
remember the
Okay.
barkeeper mentioned that he went out back to steal the carrot from the horses? Is there like a stable?
Okay, so on the backside, it's not necessarily that there's like a full stable for them, but there is like some horses that are kind of wound up on like on a pitching post, pretty much. And there's like a trough, and within the trough there was a couple of carrots that you can definitely tell like that's where they got it from. So
But that's all. It's just the horses, nothing else.
yeah, it's just a couple of horses. Nothing too crazy.
I'll like pet the horse, but that's about it. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Like,
Kind
do
of
the
just like,
horses seem content?
what was that?
Do the horses seem content? Like, are they like pulling at their ropes, or are they just kind of chilling there?
No, they're kind of just chilling. Like occasionally, just like running their hooves in the mud. Nothing too
Mhm.
crazy. They'll kind of like circle around a little bit just to kind of move, but they do have some pretty long reins, so
Okay.
they are pretty like they can probably move within about a 6 foot span all the way
So
around.
I just give him a little pet and I keep looking around.
Okay. Probably
I
another
would
like
walk up to him at this point.
Yep.
Do you need some help with anything?
Depends. What are your thoughts on helping animals?
I pick up the hawk and just am holding it in one hand. I like animals.
Well, we're in a hunting town, and I'm looking for animals that have been captured that might need some assistance in being captured.
Then I can help.
Yeah, these horses
Just
seem
keep
fine.
an
so
eye
no-
on me.
Oh, okay.
And my eagle or hawk flies off my shoulder and starts flying around, and you see me close my eyes, and then when I open them again, they are blood red.
Oh. I'm gonna make my eyes blue. I'm gonna touch my little orb. I can do something like that too.
so
And
you're looking through the eyes.
I'm making an investigation check through the hawk.
Okay.
I actually was not prepared for this. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the hawk's staff. Let me just roll. That was a 3, so I'm gonna assume I don't see anything.
Yeah. So through the eyes of the hawk, right now, based on how the moon's hitting, the hawk doesn't have dark vision because this is gonna. Okay, it doesn't. So there isn't any moon. So like, it looks really cool that like this hawk is kind of flying by, and like there's a couple of guys that like somebody throws a shoe and like it's just like a easy glide away. Like it's not even kind of close. But for the most part, you're not able to really gauge any full any full shapes or anything along those lines. You do kind of see as it got up into the upper part of the city that like a little bit to the south of the house that you guys were at, a little farther in, there does look to be some type of like fire. That's about all that you can kind of gauge off of it. Do you want to still just like kind of maneuver around with your hawk, or you want to snap back?
After I kind of just, how do I say it? I kind of just give up after not too long of that, and
Okay.
I just go back to seeing normally, and the hawk returns to me.
My eyes are
Okay.
still blue because I got my hand right here. That was
Okay.
very intriguing.
Yeah, I could not see anything in particular.
I mean, you
of
were just
any
staring at
animals.
me.
Oh, right. I was looking through, and I stick out my hand, and the hawk lands on my hand. This one's vision.
That
and
makes
hearing
much
from
more
their
sense.
point of
I
view.
thought we were having a staring contest, you and I.
No. And I put the hawk back on my shoulder.
So, did you find anything? Nothing you said?
Just some rude gentleman trying to throw shoes at my hawk.
Oh. Do you know who they were? We could go talk to them. That's something.
I do not know who they were.
Darn.
It was kind of around like the opposite direction from the Copper Griffin was kind of where it was. Like it was past the
Oh,
Copper
so
Griffin.
I thought I couldn't quite tell where it was coming from. Sorry.
Well, you you saw the trajectory of the shoe because you kind of had to angle away from it, but you could just tell that like it was from the opposite direction of the Gilded Griffin. I mean the Copper Griffin. Sorry,
Okay.
was about all you got from it.
So I relay that bit of information. I think it came from the opposite direction of the Golden Griffin.
Well, there's so many people here. It's not quite enough to go off of, but oh well.
So what do you guys want to do?
And I'm just gonna
You guys
keep
wanna-
meandering around, but that's about it.
meandering around. Okay, so as you're kind of going around, make a perception check. Just make a quick perception. Both of you guys can make a perception check because you're now working together, kind of. What'd you get?
3 plus
Okay,
3.
6.
Mhm.
And hold on. Where's my perception? 7.
Oh my gosh, you guys! I'm trying to help you here.
So bad at this.
I have a +4. I rolled a 3 again.
I will. Okay, so I'll say when you guys are, as you guys are kind of walking around, there is a couple of people that you can see that are like completely passed out. It doesn't look like they were on their way to like a building. It looks like maybe they were heading somewheres, like outside of town. And in their drunken stupors, they have fallen to the ground, passed out, and it does look like you see a very large bear trap, as well as like some string, and then a couple of it's very obvious that it was a couple of like metal components to use for trapping.
Mhm.
And there is like a little set of keys. That's about all that you can kind of see.
How passed out does he look?
He looks pretty sloshed. Like, I don't know. There might be an altercation with it, but at the same point, it might also just be like you can kind of snag him.
I'm gonna try to steal things from him.
Okay.
Definitely the keys, but
roll-
I'm gonna go for just pockets in general.
Okay. Let's do a
Sleight of hand.
sleight of hand check for you.
11.
Yep, DC was 10. So you do kind of like,
It was a
you
4,
kind of
but I have a
ruffle through.
+7 on sleight of hand. that would
that
have been
was pretty
terrible.
lucky. So you kind of ruffle around a little bit. You do kind of see that there is, you grab the keys. There's a couple of different parts that go towards building traps. So you do have those. You can do with that whatever you want. You find 3 pieces of copper. And that's really about it, unfortunately. Like, this dude was probably had enough money to go get his drinks and then maybe to come back to wherever he was going.
So, could I dismantle the bear trap so it doesn't work anymore?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I would say you could do that.
Yeah, because I would definitely do that. So that way he just doesn't have a functioning bear trap.
I'll say probably you take like some of the metal parts and you just like snap the bear trap and then you unscrew one of the heads of the side. And so now it completely just rests open. You probably took the screw with you.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to do? You guys want to keep moving around?
Yeah,
Or...
keys. I'm gonna go kind of walk outside of townish. You said it looked like he was going from that direction.
Okay. Yeah, you walk that way for about 30-ish more minutes. And you do start to see that there's a fire that's kind of off in the distance a little bit. Maybe about 300 or 400 yards from you, kind of in a clearing off into the woods a little. It's getting a little marshy, so you're kind of like watching your step a little bit. But what do you want to do?
I'm definitely gonna be walking like a little bit off the path, so I'm not just like seeing where it's coming up.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of pull him aside to like be also in the shadows with me.
Okay. You want to just keep on moving forward?
Yeah. Well,
Are you
I'm gonna look
walking
at
up?
him to see, like, stop for a second and look at him to see if he's saying anything or if he's just gonna keep going too.
I will say, let's wait here for a second.
Okay.
I take my hawk, and then I put my hand around it and say a little prayer, and I cast guidance on the hawk, and then I let it fly, and then it flies a little bit closer to this camp and makes a perception check.
All right, at advantage, right?
Guidance is just plus a d4.
Oh, D4, that's what it is.
So let me grab that. 15 plus 2 plus perception is going to be wisdom. Yeah, so that's another plus 2. Oh no, I got plus 4 for perception on that. So
Sweet.
that is 21.
21. So, what's the hawk's name?
I forgot what it was. It's been a while since I thought about it.
All right, so Ethan Hawke flies out, and as he's going for it, as he's kind of like just kind of soaring through, it's pretty cool to watch this thing, especially how low you are is still within the trees. So he's kind of just jutting back and forth, like kind of like razor blade cutting all the way through a lot of the brush and some of the branches. Comes up and kind of does like a circle view, and it's very obvious there's a fire. You see 3 individuals that are all sitting around the fire. One of them is a gnome, and then you see what looks to be like a dragonborn of some kind, and then 2 human-ish looking people.
Wait,
There's
3 and that's 4.
Oh, my bad. That's it. There's 4 cages that are all around. 2 of them have they're much smaller cages that both have beavers inside of them. There's one that has, it looks like a bear. Well, actually, you would kind of recognize this. It is an owl bear. Like, the face of it is definitely an owl bear, but it's small, like definitely a cub of some kind. And then the last one is an animal you haven't seen, but it's pretty much like the body of a horse with a very long neck. So you probably haven't seen giraffes if you haven't been around this area, because they're not common anywhere other than in Sherstow, and really when you're getting into like the rainforesty area of Sherstow Kingdom. So there is a medium-sized giraffe. Its head's kind of peeking out from the side. It's not tall enough for it, so it does look pretty uncomfortable. Like, you can see like the square box from the top and then just a head sticking out the side. So that's all you get. That's what you get.
Did you tell me all that information?
Yes, I relay all of that
Great.
to you.
Were they sleeping or were they awake, perchance?
It looked like the 2 humans were asleep, and it looked like the Dragonborn was at least laying down. The gnome was kind of just like walking around, but he was stumbling.
Okay. So would you like to wait here and I sneakily go free the creatures you described, or would you like to come with me?
I
have
will
keys,
wait
and I'm
here,
really easy to
and my friend will keep looking, and if I see any trouble, I will rush in.
Perfect.
So I'll still approach a little bit, because you said we were
You're about
quite a ways
400 yards away. Yeah, 400 yards. So you're not making out any figures from there, but I would say once you get into like the 200 yards, 150 yards, then you're actually at a distance that you could close pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sneak my way into the cages.
All right, let's roll some stealth. Let's roll some stealth here.
Real quick, before you go, I will cast guidance on you.
Okay.
Okay.
It was
So you
already
add a D4 to your roll.
Without the D4. Let's see.
It was a what?
It was 22, and then I got a 4 on his guidance.
Okay. Yeah. So like, you are so in your element since this is the forest. It's crazy. Before you actually get back into the hawk, because you were moving up a little bit, you see Thorin like scurry up into a tree, and then it's like just nice quiet little jaunts back and forth from branch to branch. Like sometimes like if a foot slips, it's like he grabs it with his hand and then does like a flip back on top and then just like keeps going. Like dude's so nimble, it's insane for just this little gnome. And he very quickly closes the distance between that 150. You've gotten pretty much right onto the verge before the clearing. You're like about a row of trees back before the clearing really sets. Like you can look through the branches and see the fire as well as the cages.
So I'm gonna go like on the backwards way to the cages.
Okay.
So like still
backwards
trying to
the
stay
cage.
as much out of the light as I can, but still
Okay.
like a pretty straight path.
Okay, you rolled pretty high, so I'm gonna say like you're able to kind of get into it. This area is it's marshy, so it does have some like cattails and like a little bit of like taller like duck brush kind of. So you kind of weave yourself through that. You're right on the verge of the cage with the giraffe, and but the head is opposite of you. So like you're staring at its butt right now.
Oh way.
Yep.
So I would like
and then in front of that, like about 10 feet in front of that, is the two humans that are definitely snoozed.
I'm assuming the opening's on the other side then.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to go around to that and try to use the key.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I feel like a sleight of hand, because you do have to do it kind of quietly. And you did get like way up close with stealth. So I'm going to say like do a sleight of hand for it to see if you're able to just get over there without there being any type of situation. 13. So you're able to get over, and you do click it. And once it clicks, the giraffe kind of shifts a little bit. It moves pretty quick. And so the gnome that's on the opposite side of the fire, it does gather his attention, and he starts to kind of move over and see that like the giraffe is now running off into the distance.
So does he see me or just the giraffe?
He doesn't see you. He's very focused on the giraffe. Like
I'm
that's
gonna stay still for a second to see if he like chases the giraffe or gets distracted enough to try to do anything about it.
okay. Let me just see.
I don't want to draw attention to myself yet.
Yeah, I get you. Just pull up just a random character here so that I can have a rolling dice. Yeah, so he beelines for it and like kind of trips over a little bit, but then he does like he does land kind of on top of it. There's a little bit of a scuffle that's going on, but they're into the cattails. But his focus is definitely towards there. There hasn't been anyone else that was ruffled yet. Nobody has moved quite yet.
So for the moment, I'm going to go to the other cages. I'm like going to keep my like paying attention to the giraffe situation, but I'm focused on the other cages.
Okay. So I'll say there's the other one is like right next to it. That's going to be one of the beavers. So you get to that one with no issue. Both the people are still asleep. Once you start moving over a little bit more, you're now getting over to the Dragonborn. The Dragonborn looks like he was more so like he's a little bit dazed, like he's more drunk. So it's not that he's fully asleep. He's still kind of rustling, but not moving to go get a giraffe. Like he's kind of just vibing in his spot right there. And the next cage is probably about 5 feet away from him.
Okay.
So like within a square of him.
So I'm going to use Mage Hand because I have Mage Hand Ledger Domain where I can unlock things with it.
Okay, solid.
I'm going to do that.
All right.
That one I'm staying back, not by him.
Are you trying to do it quietly? I think that's the only thing with it. Is like, are you still trying to do it quietly, or at this point are you kind of like?
Quiet.
All right, then I'll just say, do one more sleight of hand for this one because of how close it is. And
yes, you can disguise it with a sleight of hand check. So that'd be it.
Yeah.
18.
18. Yeah, not even like it doesn't even make a sound, and like the animal, kind of like looks towards you. This one was the owl bear. It's definitely a cub, and when you
you said one, was there one or two beavers?
2 beavers.
I can talk to the beavers.
You can talk to the beavers.
Yes, because they're small.
Okay, so the other beaver is on. He's like about 10 feet away from you.
Yeah.
Or well, 10 feet away from the other cage. Like he was where the gnome first started, essentially.
So the beaver I freed first, I definitely would have told it like, be quiet, go, go, go.
Okay. Do an animal handling check because the owlbear is like the owlbear sees you because they're pretty perceptive animals.
Yeah.
So the owlbear does see you, but I'm gonna say like if you like, I don't know, try to do something like that because of how well known you are with animals.
11.
It catches on to you not being the bad one, but it does make some noise, starts like, and then starts to like run off. So the dragonborn does get kind of stirred with that. So he's kind of getting up now, but you're still far enough away from him. So he's now getting up, not going towards trying to go towards the owlbear, but there's definitely enough intoxication to where this guy's not going straight. It's a curved stumble to try to get towards him. You got one more cage left. What do you want to do?
Is it right next to the owlbear, you said? Kind of by what the name
it's like 10 feet. It's where he's kind of moving towards, but it's still a little bit away from him. It's still a little bit side.
How many feet from me is it?
I would say you were probably 10 feet away from the cage. The cage is about 5 feet from him, so I would say you're probably about like 35-ish feet away from this.
I'm gonna move 5 feet closer, so I can use my mage hand again.
Okay, that works. Do you want to do this one quietly, or are you just
Well,
okay.
He's pretty. How distracted is he? You think, like, does he seem like he would notice something, or is he, because he's drunk? So, is he kind of like, does he look like he's hyper fixated on this owlbear?
What is your passive? What's the? It's not perception.
Insight?
It's not investigate. Yeah, what's your passive insight?
11.
It was 10. So he is blacked out drunk to the point where like you could probably like tap him on the shoulder and he'll spin around for days.
Yeah, so I'm not bothering to be quiet.
Okay, then you just go over, you unlock the last one, and this beaver kind of like comes out again. The other beaver probably told him like, hey, this guy's chill, let's just chill out. But yeah, you successfully released all of the animals. The giraffe bit the gnome. So the gnome is like kind of running around a little bit, freaking out, and the giraffe has been long gone now.
Okay, good.
So,
and does it look like the dragonborn has any chance of catching the owlbear?
No, honestly, the dragonborn probably in the next 5 or 10 steps will get his feet stuck in the mud and will not be moving or at least face planting prior to even coming close to the owlbear.
So I'm just gonna sneak my way back towards Drat then. I've done exactly what I wanted to do. I don't want to cause any more issues with people.
Okay. Yep, that sounds good. Then yeah, you see him just appear, and you do hear a little bit of a ruckus, and like in the background, there's like a quiet scream of like, "This giraffe is just why?" So.
Now that was a sight to see.
Yes, they're free now. I can rest happily.
So,
Is there anything you would like my help with now?
not as of yet. I may take you up on that later.
Okay, sounds lovely. He does like an over-exaggerated yawn, and then just kind of heads back towards the house.
Takes you guys about
now.
Yeah, takes you guys about like 45, 50-ish minutes to get back to the hut. Rin, are you just like conked?
I've been thinking about it. I think after some tossing and turning, not able to sleep. What did you say was the name of the the underground fighting ring?
The Bloodied Circle. That was what was talked about.
That's what I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start making my way, see if anyone can guide me. I don't know if the two of them intercept me when I leave or not, though. I don't know how the timelines would.
How long do you think you would have stayed? Because they've been gone for probably about, I would say, close to about an hour and a half or so, just kind of meandering about, maybe 2 hours.
No, I think at most it would have been 30 minutes.
Okay. Where do you want to start? Do you want to go back to the Copper Griffin and try to figure it out from there, or do you want to just like kind of blindly look throughout the city to see if you can catch on to any seedy stuff.
Let's go to the Copper Griffin,
Okay.
and I'll talk to the bartender
Okay.
that originally helped us out.
Okay. So you just kind of walk back in. Copper Griffin, it's like you're stepping over some people. It's that like there's about 10 people on the ground now that are just passed out. The half work has been dragging others. Like there are very visible spaces where someone was and now they are not. So it's been a constant cycle of this half work having to drag patrons out into either the mud, into the back alley, and the windows are open, so he's probably thrown a couple out the windows too, so that there wasn't stacks in certain areas.
Illustrated them.
Yeah. So you kind of just like walk right up to the bar. He's helping. Which one did you want to talk to? The half work or the halfling?
I think it was the halfling that we spoke with
Okay.
originally, right?
So the halfling comes back and says, "Hey, how's it going? It's nice to see you again. What's going on? What's doing? Huh?"
Oh, Orlin was saying something about what was it? The bloody circle.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was looking to dabble.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if there's any rings going on here tonight, but did he talk? Orlin might have told you guys. Sometimes he likes to stop in at the Veiled Eye. He only comes in here every once in a while, but he's so different from everyone else that he kind of like sticks in my head. So if he's going to the Veiled Eye, that's probably the best bet. I do know the last time we had the circuit, the Silver Phantom did show up, which was pretty sick. So he's that was about 3 nights ago. So he might still be at the Veiled Eye if he's making his way to Malmoley. Because last year for the coronation, it was wild. There was like 12 people that got murdered. It was pretty sick. So if that's what they're going for, I mean, I'm hoping for 15. I'm heading that way probably in the next couple of days. So, yeah.
Can you tell me where the Veil of the Eye is?
So the Veiled Eye is like, so if you're going towards Malmoley, it's about like 40-ish miles. Right before you hit the river, there's going to be a tavern. And the tavern is like, doesn't look like it should be there at all. It's like 3 stories tall and probably 6 times the width of ours. It's wild that they just decided to stick it there. But you can only go in if you have a mask. That's their big rule, because anonymity, all the fun stuff. They're pretty wild about that kind of thing. But yeah, other than that, I mean, there's sometimes that you'll get them around here, but unfortunately, like it does cycle because you can't keep one in one area because it's pretty bad. I think we lost about 6 people this last cycle. So sometimes the authorities, they don't really like us having it close by. But yeah, if he's stopping there, you should be fine. You should be able to check it out then. If not, you might still be able to talk to some of the people there, because you can tell a fighter. You can definitely tell who fights in the Bloodied Circle. I'll tell you that much. I don't. No, I can't even hit a fly. Like, I have the worst hand-eye coordination of any person I've ever met. I'm surprised half of the time that I can get most of the meads to people without tripping over other things. But yeah, you got what else? What are you thinking, huh? Anything else?
No, that was I mean, I was hoping for something tonight, but if that's not the case, then I'll be on my way.
I mean, are you trying to get in a fight? Because I mean, that's not that hard. You just walk outside, spit in someone, it might work. Just saying.
Well, I'm looking for compensation.
Yeah. Only thing you're gonna get out of these fools is like a couple coppers. Some have silver. Some have silver. I'll say that. You can get some silver if you beat the right guy.
I've been seeing you move some people around. Where would I find the where do you put them? Where do you place them?
So we've got out back by the horses, there's a water trough. Sometimes we'll throw guys in there, and if they don't drown, then at least they'll wake themselves up. Other times, just out in the front, you might have had to step over some of them. We kind of try not to have them consolidated in like big piles. But there's also, it's kind of like the authorities around here. It's the Crown's Guard. They work for Gray, whatever his name is, and they just come by and make sure that people aren't like naked in the streets. You might see them occasionally.
Okay, well, thank you for the information.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one, man.
Likewise. So I'm gonna just walk out. I'll head out back. I'm just gonna, if there's, I guess I'll do like a perception check to see if there's
Okay.
anyone like within the immediate vicinity.
To just fight?
No, like
Oh.
to see if anyone, because what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start looting some bodies.
Oh, okay.
I rolled a 16.
16. There's like, after he had talked about the Crown's Guard, you do remember as you walked in, you passed some guys that were coming through. So they probably would have just done their like little rotation. So you definitely don't see anybody currently there. And there is like 3 piles of bodies that are just kind of lying about. Most of them look like it's all like leathers and hides. So you don't deduce that there might be a lot of money, but I mean, you could always give it a shot for investigating.
Yeah. Does anyone in particular stand out? Like, or no? Just everyone's kind of looking the same.
Let's see. So there is somebody that their coat stands out a tiny bit. There's on the very bottom hem, it's kind of got like a embroidery that has like a little bit of a gold hue to it. That comes up on the right side and all the way up. However, they're kind of in the middle of a pile, so it's not like the top person, it's definitely in the midst of the grouping. So out of like the 3 or 4 piles of bodies around the area, that one kind of stands out more to you.
Okay. Let me see if I... Just trying to see if there's anything that might help me in this situation. No. Okay. Any part of them that is like easily accessible?
I mean, after moving like 2 bodies, you could probably get to them pretty quick. So
Any
it's up to you. if you wanna do
pockets that are like sticking out that I can see?
You could probably stick a hand in, like around where the coat was, and probably get to at least like 1 or 2 pockets within the coat. Maybe even like the inside coat pocket.
Okay. I'm gonna use Mage Hand.
Okay. Yeah.
That way I can keep a little bit of distance.
Yeah, sure. Do an investigation check.
Yep. 16.
16. So you find a set of artisan tools, and then you also find 2 gold pieces. And it looks like it's a so it's a rolled up piece of paper, kind of like about like 6 inches in width. And after you look through it a little bit, it does say a little bit of information about at the Veiled Eye. It's talking about there is 2 fights scheduled at the Veiled Eye for 2 nights after this one. And then it does say featuring the Silver Phantom.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what you get.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm just writing this.
You're good.
So it's 2 nights out or for 2 nights?
For 2 nights. So, but it's still 2 nights away. So like the date is what you kind of realize, and it says for 2 nights only, and it says the Silver Phantom at the Veiled Eye.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pocket that. Well, all of it.
Okay. Cool.
And then I'll make my way back.
All right. So going back across, you do pass by a couple of the Crown's Guard. They are very annoyed that this is their job during this night. Like, it is so evident that they do not get paid enough to deal with this kind of crap. You get back to the hut. I would say you're still back to the hut before them. You might have kind of just seen them coming out of the forest as you're walking back to the hut, but it wouldn't have been like super close. Like, they still would have been a little ways away.
Gotcha.
So do you want to just like conk out, or chill for a little bit? What do you want to do?
I don't really have any reason to wait up for them. Don't really know them all too well.
All right, that sounds good. Then you just come in, bed down on your sheet on the ground. Essentially, that's what you've got. And then the 2 of you guys make yourselves in. Are you guys gonna do anything else, or?
As I get to the door, I'm gonna tell him, I say, in the morning, could you wake me up? This place doesn't look comfortable. I'll be in that tree over there. And I point to like a really big bushy tree that looks like it's got leaves I can kind of hide in the top.
Yeah, okay.
Will do.
Thank you. And I'm
Alright,
gonna go to that
works.
tree and sleep.
Okay. So night goes pretty smoothly. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. I mean, throughout the night, you guys occasionally get woken up to a couple of like sounds of hurling. There's a couple of times where you hear some clashing of some metal, probably from sword fight here or there. Maybe even the Crown's Guard getting smacked by something. You would see the sun first as it comes up, or, well, I don't know if you're going to wake up by the sun, but sun kind of creeps up over top of the area.
Yeah, I probably would wake up when the sun is coming up.
sun
It's
hits
kind of
you.
like what his routine would have been.
And probably the last one to wake up would be Orlin. He's probably trying to sleep as much as he possibly can. He's an older gentleman, like definitely just a human, and probably in his 70s. So he's definitely getting up there in age, especially for this time. But yeah, what is there anything that you guys want to do when you first wake up, or anything like that?
I'm probably just gonna make my way back to them, just to, like, in my mind, like, I'm thinking, oh, I hope I didn't miss him, even though I'm like probably the first one awake.
Yeah.
So he's like rushing there as soon as the sun comes up.
Okay. Yeah. Orlin stirs, kind of gets up, and asks if you guys can help him move the cart out of the hut.
Does it look like it would fit through the door?
Yeah, it was pretty tight. Like, it's very obvious that he struggled to get this through, but he did do it. So it gets all the way through. You guys kind of like push a little bit. It's definitely not heavy. Like, you could probably walk with this, but it does make sense why he would have a horse with it. I would say Orlin's kind of just out gathering up the reins for his horse, kind of getting it all attached to the cart. Do you guys want to do anything else, or are you guys ready to start setting out?
I mean, I'll pet the horses while he does that, but I'm definitely not helping him more than he asks me to.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, help get it out. So I did it, and as soon as I did, I dropped it and just went to the horses.
Okay. That's perfectly fine.
I'm
So yeah.
ready just to head out.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys kind of start to make your way out. It's a pretty basic road that goes through. The horse is super muddy, so is the cart. And as you're making it through, I'm trying to see how many of you guys would have interacted around Sherstow. I mean, you guys should just make a canon right now. Have you guys been around this area before, or is this your first time making your way around here?
I'd say I
For me,
probably
it's
will.
the first time.
First.
I'd say I probably come here around this time every year because I know like there's the most amount of hunters, so I do what I just did
Okay.
yearly. So
Yeah.
I'm fairly familiar with it.
Okay. Then I would say for Drat and Rin, it's kind of crazy to watch because the forest was kind of like a marshy forest land, but as the day goes through, as kind of midday hits, you start to realize that a lot of these trees have turned a lot more like rainforest type. Like it's getting close to a jungle, but it's still a little bit carnivorous. There's still like an occasion of a pine tree here and there, but it does look like they're kind of like falling out almost. The trees are getting much taller, and there's going to be a lot more space, so a lot more visibility throughout the forest. The road gets a little bit rough in some spots, a little bit sketchy, and kind of as you're walking, all four of you guys, there's a couple of times where you guys pass a band of hunters. It doesn't look like they have anything on them. There's one guy that has like a deer kind of cradled around him. He's holding on to just the hoofs, and he's kind of like walking with it on his shoulders. The thing's got a couple of marks from where arrows hit it, so it's definitely dead. So not a lot of saving, unfortunately. And these guys look like they care a lot less about the King of Sherstow. They probably don't care whatsoever. They look very nomadic, very large bushy beards, very long hair. Doesn't look like looks like the last time they got washed was from the rain, and then they just let it air dry. That's the extent of it. The day kind of continues through. Not much goes on. Occasionally there's some rustling over on the sides. Rin, you do catch the first couple of glimpses of a giraffe. It's actually like a very tall giraffe with its little baby giraffe. And Thorin, you will recognize this baby giraffe is the one that you remember. There was a couple of scars, unfortunately, from the trapping mechanism that they used that are still visible somewhat on its left hoof, I guess, because I think they have hoofs or legs. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tug on Drat's like little sleeve and kind of point like a little kid, basically. It's like, oh, look at.
I
Now,
smile and wave at it.
Since it's my first time ever seeing a giraffe, I'm kind of just like gaping at it, just as it's like walking like past us, and like I definitely trip as it happens.
Yeah, Orlin is kind of like, yep, they're all over the place. I see them all the time. Very cool.
I'm gonna like flick a couple little leaves and kind of hold it out to see if the little baby will come say hi.
It walks up and it does start to recognize a little bit. It grabs it pretty quick and then moves. And like watching this thing run is the strangest thing because it looks like someone's just like smacking sticks on the ground and moving forward. It's very wild to watch this thing move. But you guys managed to kind of move throughout a little bit more of the day. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about on the way there? Anything like that? Anything going on? Anything you want to ask Orlin?
The tree's dense enough where I could be like kind of moving along the trees instead of the ground while still being able to hear them? Or is it
In
not
some
that?
sections, I would say, yeah. There's a couple of times where it's not even that the trees are close enough. It's just that the branches are wide enough to where they
Mhm.
actually like fall into them. There's a couple of times where the trees have fallen into itself, and you're able to kind of move up through that and kind of like Assassin's Creed 3, like parkour through the trees.
So whenever I can do that, I'm doing that. But if they ever get far enough out where I can't hear them, then I go back on the trail until I can tree
Okay.
it again.
Okay, that works. Anything else you guys want to do? Just kind of vibing still.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. I'm just very focused on trying to get to like where we're going.
Okay. So first day of journey goes pretty smoothly. Nothing really catches your guys' eye. You do kind of have to, because of how far of a distance this is, it's going to be 4 days of travel. So this is going to be the first night of travel that you guys kind of bed down a little bit. Sun's kind of setting a little bit, and Orlin is getting antsy because he's kind of freaking out. This area isn't the best place because of how big the coronation is. This route gets hit pretty quick because this is one of the main routes that traders will take to bring their wares to the coronation. So that's also why he's being really seedy and kind of like shifty about what's going on. Kind of just freaked out a little. So Orlin kind of pulls the cart apart, like off to the side, and is like, "Oh, very well. I did bring some extra supplies for camping of some kind. If one of you guys would just gather some wood, I will happily lay out some of the lesser of my wares, and you guys can benefit from those as your sleeping bags or sleeping whatever ground cover that you need."
How big
I
is
will head out and get the firewood.
I don't get the firewood. Okay, what did you say, Jonathan?
and how big is the cart?
I would say probably like 2 feet wide, a little bit wider with the wheels. But the actual cart itself is like 2 feet wide by about 6-ish feet long.
Oh darn!
Why? What were you doing for?
If it was fits within a 5-foot cube, I could do something fun with it. But it doesn't.
Okay.
Nothing dangerous. Just that would have been helpful.
Oh, okay. Now I want to can and make it the size. But yeah, so he kind of just moves it across and sets it down. He takes out. He has his normal purse that he's been clutching for a majority, but he does pull out like a couple of heads of lettuce, and he starts feeding those off to his horse. Pulls a carrot, grabs the carrot, hands it
I'm
off
gonna
to them.
kind of reference towards the carrot. Can I have one? I'm quite
He like looks
hungry.
at it and like snaps it in half and gives you the smaller side, and then gives the rest to the horse. And like he right as he hands it, he says, "No hard feelings. It's just I care more about this one making it than you. I'm sorry."
Oh, I do
Just-
too. It's understandable. I grab and eat it.
Drat, you were going off to get firewood.
You want me to make a roll?
I'm
or
gonna run
something?
off with him to follow him.
Just
as
do
I
like
see
a
him.
basic survival check, just to grab some good wood. You're getting into like the rainforest area, so a lot of the wood is pretty wet. So you're trying to find dead wood.
14.
Yeah, I'd say you have enough to get a fire going. Drat was getting firewood, so yeah, you'd want to start your fire like probably a little bit later into the night, just so that you know you had enough to get you through the darkness that is. Does anybody have dark vision?
I do.
Yes.
We all do.
Oh, well, this is
All
going to be
but
an easy
Orlin.
cakewalk. Oh,
All but Orlin.
poor Orlin. I didn't know that all of you had it. I probably would have let you go through the night. Then yeah, I would say.
would have let us go through the night. To be honest with you, he seemed
What?
pretty. I said I don't know if Orlin would have let us go through the night. He seemed pretty.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. All of you guys saying like we can see during the night maybe would have made him feel a little bit better, but I'd like to think you didn't even tell Orlin you could see in the night. Like you guys just avoided it. Like he doesn't need to know. So Orlin kind of just gets his bed like all set. He gets into, well, actually, it's not separate. It's in the cart. So he gets into the cart and he's like, like lifts up the thing. Do you need me to stay awake for any of the watches, or?
Oh, I don't need you at all, quite honestly.
Fantastic.
You're a little bit of,
and then
a
just
little
goes
bit of
back.
that.
And then he just goes right back in. So he is completely conked out. We'll probably do. There's 3 of you guys, so it's hard to do 2 watches.
If I
we could
saw
do-
down, can I like remove parts of the cart to make it a little smaller? Like the other like handles I could take off.
No, because it's the actual like buggy version. I wasn't counting like the part that attaches to the horse.
Oh,
So
darn.
that's like all still part of it. It's more of like a long one. If you've ever seen like Bring In Ya Dead, that kind of cart,
Yeah.
it's like a longer version of that
makes
with
sense.
taller wheels so that it doesn't hit the ground. And it is it's closed on every edge, about like 20 inches tall, and then just has a covering over top of it.
Makes sense.
So yeah. We'll just do, I guess, 3 different watches. Do you guys want to each individually take a watch?
I mean, I'm gonna
Yes.
watch. So I'm gonna DM you what I'm going to do.
Okay. All right. So I will say for the first watch, Drat, we'll let you run for the first watch on it. Or, well, I mean, who wants to take first watch?
Oh, I was gonna volunteer.
Okay. Rin can take the first watch. So roll me a perception check.
1 perception check coming. Uh, 9.
9.
Yeah.
Looking out, you're not seeing much around the area. It's kind of because of your dark vision. You still can see the area around you, but the light from the fire has kind of like thrown your senses a little bit. And even looking up and having how drastically small the moon is right now, because it's at like it's at a sliver phase essentially, because last night there was no moon whatsoever. So you're not catching much, but nothing really goes on. What was that?
A waning crescent.
Waning crescent. There you go.
Sorry, waxing.
Waxing. But nothing too crazy goes on. A little bit of rustling here and there, but it's definitely like you'd think it would be a squirrel, maybe something smaller like a chipmunk running amok or something along those lines. You do know that around, well, you don't know, but around this area, like lemurs and stuff are kind of occasionally there. So
I would know that.
you might have
for
seen
sure.
that hop from a tree in a certain area, and it might have startled you a little, but after you see like the little beady eyes, you'll be like, oh, that's fine. All right. So Drat will pull you up next.
I sent you what I'm doing.
I'll do a little bit of information relay and just tell them, like, just to hear some noises, but nothing too alarming.
Okay, sweet.
And no, I do that when they're not paying attention, so they don't really know.
Okay,
Where?
gotcha. All right, Drat.
I hate this dice. I rolled a 7. Again, a 3 plus 4 for the 3rd time this night.
Buy new dice.
So
Technically, these aren't even my dice.
Well, there's your problem.
it's kind of
Hold on, I'm changing my d20s.
okay.
Go ahead, you can keep talking.
Okay, so it's kind of strange. As it gets a little bit further into the night, you're yes.
Does it even have numbers on them?
It's time. No, one does. I think one or two of them
Yeah.
do.
2 d20s.
It's the D6s that don't have numbers.
That's it. Yeah.
There we go.
Well, one
I
does
also-
have like the left leg, right arm,
Yeah.
torso, and head. I do remember that one somewhere. So right off the bat, taking off from Rin, fires died down a little bit. You didn't find a lot of wood, so this fire is getting a little bit smaller. Perfect. You're getting a little bit. You're getting a little bit better visibility around the area, but for some reason, maybe it's because of all of the shenanigans you and Thorin got up to the night before, you are kind of dozing a little bit. And as you wake up the next time around, you hear a twig that's snapping about 10-ish feet over from you, kind of shifting your head a little bit. You see what looks to be a panther of some kind. However, you do notice that it's not gazed on you because it doesn't have any eyes. It's responding in sniffs and responding in very slow movements throughout. Is there any? What do you want to do?
How far am I from everybody else?
Well, I guess that's up to you guys. Would you guys have kind of consolidated close at the beginning, at least?
No, I'm where I told you.
Okay. So I would say like you're within, you're probably within about 10 to 15 feet of each other, like huddled around the fire. And the panther is just now kind of coming into the clearing. You can't see Thorin right now. You're not seeing Thorin. That's the only thing that's throwing you a little bit.
Okay. I'm going to tell my hawk to mentally to fly and make a rustling noise in the distance, in the other direction.
Okay. So as like the hawk kind of moves out, you do you see like the head of the panther cock a little bit, like it hears the movement, like it hears the kind of the rustling of the feathers, and then the panther kind of like sinks back into the brush and then starts to move around the edge of the clearing that you're at. And once it hits the rustling, it's like an immediate beeline this thing makes to that area and that distance, and closes the distance in like matters of seconds. After it gets there, is it taking out your what do you want your hawk to do? Do you want it to?
It's just trying to survive and distract.
Okay, so you want it to like move a little bit further out?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that after it would probably have moved pretty quick away. Were you hopping into its eyes, or were you just letting it run?
I'm letting it run.
Okay.
And then at that point, I'm going to wake up the other. Well, I'm going to look for the other two and see that Thorin isn't there.
Okay.
And wake him up.
Okay. So you were waking up Rin and Orlin?
Yeah.
Okay. So Orlin kind of like groggily like sticks his head out and he's like, "Oh, what? What is the issues?"
There's a panther out there.
That's another panther. What's that?
Why? It has no eyes and is trying to smell and hear.
He just like completely closed. Like he's not getting involved. He does not want to be a part of that whatsoever. Rin, he's talking to you now a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'll keep watch with you. Where is the other fellow?
I'd like to make a perception check to look for Orlin. Or Thorin.
Thorin.
Cut. Roll a perception check. Which you
There's
get.
another 3 plus 4 is 7.
I'm gonna say like
the
right
different dice.
Right off the bat, you definitely are. There's nothing anywhere on the ground, or even like a quick glance up into the trees, because you did see him kind of shift back and forth. You're not seeing Thorin whatsoever. So, Thorin, what are you feeling? What do you want to do?
How loud are they being? Because I might be asleep.
They, I don't know. I mean, are you guys? No, you're trying to be pretty quiet because you're still kind of freaked with the panther. So they're not being pretty loud whatsoever.
I'm asleep.
Okay. All right. I don't know at this point. You're not seeing Thorin. he's not around there or anything whatsoever.
There's no loud noises or anything to. I'm just sleeping. So there wouldn't be any reason for me to wake up randomly.
No, not really. So yeah, what do you guys want to do?
What direction did it go in? Where is it?
In that direction over there.
And how far?
It kind of ran, like, I would say, away from you guys. So Sherstow is like kind of coastal, so Tazingster is kind of on the coast, so it's more towards the bay is where it kind of went in that direction. So like east of your location, kind of, because you guys are just about to go a little bit more north to go towards Malmally, because Malmally is like northeast of your position, but you have to travel east, then go north a little bit, then come across, kind of like a little that.
And sorry, but how far away from us is it?
I'd say by now, you can see movement within the grassland, probably 60 feet away. It's like a little bit off from the clearing, but not like super deep in.
Say grassland. Are these like savanna type trees?
Somewhat. Like it's kind of like a marshy rainforest, so there's a little, like, not grassland, but like cattails type of thing, like duck kind of area is what it's at.
I'm gonna use minor illusion.
Okay.
To just make a very loud, explosive sound. One, because I don't know where Thorin is, try to get his attention. But two, see if I can use it as a way of scaring it off.
Okay. Then I would say pretty quick after that happens, the panther, you very obviously see that, like, it darts further in. Like, the marshland is kind of like really separated now, and you're seeing that the tops are moving at a very fast pace, that it's going in the opposite direction of where you were. Thorin, you definitely were woken up by the explosion.
I'm gonna hop down and come running with, like, I have like a dagger in one hand and a short sword in the other. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, I have no idea what's happening.
Okay.
Like, what was that?
So, well, you've missed all the fun. Just getting your attention in case we needed you, but
I'm very lightheaded now. Okay.
Suppose it's your turn.
Oh, to do what? What's happening?
Keep watch.
Keep watch. Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm watching.
And last watch for you. Let's roll up. You got to do a perception check. Please roll good.
Obviously, I'll pull my hawk back at this point.
Oh,
Hawk,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, he would have came back. He was like staying about, I would say, like 10 to 15 feet in front of the panther at all times, and the panther was kind of like pouncing like a cat would at like a toy, essentially. It was a slow and methodical thing. What's up?
I got a 15.
Okay. You kind of sit up in the trees, looking around, seeing if there's any movement. There is a couple of lemurs that swing by you pretty quick.
I'm gonna say hi to them as they go by because they're small, right?
Yeah, they kind of
Like a little
and then
hello.
they wave a little
I'm gonna
bit,
ask one of them if they can find me like some type of fruit.
and then it runs off. About like an hour later, right before the sun starts to crest over the tops of the trees, there's like a fruit that just like plops down in front of, like, on your lap, essentially, from above. It looks like an apple that is trying to be a plum, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean,
It's like kind of squishy a little bit.
Yeah.
Not squishy as in like it's rotted, but squishy as in that's just the way that it looks.
I would know a decent amount about the fruit in the area. Is it safe to eat?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
I'm just
something
gonna eat
to
it. Kind of look up and give it a little thank you and.
Yeah.
a little bit grossed out by the mush, but like you can tell, like I've done this before, so I'm just kind of
Yeah.
powering through it.
Okay, that works. Yeah, the sun crests over and starts to hit you guys, and the start of the next day is upon you. Gathering up your stuff, Orlin groggily, like it almost seems like him being woken up in the middle of the night just like threw off his whole rhythm. So he is like super cranky this morning, just not even wanting to talk, like just mumbling.
Would you
through.
like to stay in the cart and we just pull along?
Is it an option? Oh, that's
I
yeah.
mean, we really,
Yeah,
honestly, you slow us down a bit more than you help. No offense.
yeah, we can do that. So he
go for
gets
it.
inside of the cart, puts the cloth over his head, and you start hearing him saw some logs. It's doing some like heavy snores, probably occasionally like kicking the side of the cart, something like that, so that he'll stop snoring. But this is when the road starts to get a little bit better. You're starting to see that this is more traveled, at least this area is, and it's more packed down. So it's less muddy and more so just kind of dusty in some areas. Although it's still rainforest around you guys, it's pretty open. So you're not too worried about any type of altercations occurring on this little leg. About midday, you guys come across like there's a couple of camps off in the distance that you guys see. Can't really make out what the objective of the camps are, but they're just kind of distanced from the road. Fires that have definitely been snuffed out, some excess smoke still coming and occurring. And after, I would say, good about 5 or 6 hours of traveling, you start to see off onto the side a structure of some kind appear on the edge of the what's now being able to be heard as the river that's flowing through. As you start to get closer, this is a very immaculate looking building. It looks plucked out of nowhere and thrown up into the landscape of this rainforest. The trees are within inches of the building itself. It looks like they found the smallest amount of clearing, and instead of building out, they just built up and maybe even down. As you get a little bit closer, you do see that there is a large sign that juts out from it that does say the Veiled Eye. And I think that's where we're going to cap it for the night tonight. It's 9:40. Getting a little closer to the timing here. Thank you guys all for listening and tuning in to the first episode of the prologue of Allandia. This one is by land. We hope that you guys come back for the next session. It'll probably be with the other group. Other than that,
See?
Yes, and that one will be by sea. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching.